Have you noticed that 10 years ago, when Dongguan's population was nearly 10 million, you went out for a late-night snack, the street food stalls were still packed with people at 3 a.m., still open for business. But now, Dongguan's population is also nearly 10 million, and the inner-city railway is open. But now, Hoja is deserted, Chang'an is deserted, and Humen is also deserted. Even in Dongguan city center like Huiyicheng in Guaomao and Fumen pedestrian street in the southern part, there are signs for prime shops for renting and prime shops for transfer. Where have all the people in Dongguan gone? Today's Tuesday and there's nobody on this entire street in front of our shop. And look over here, this whole street is empty too. The parking spaces are all empty, you see? Yes, I really don't know where all the 10 million people in Dongguan have gone. Look at my shop, at this time it's 3:45 p.m, there's nobody here. Luckily we have online sales, otherwise we don't know how we would have survived. This time it's completely over. All this equipment is going to be scrap metal. It's all over, piled up everywhere. Since August, factories in Dongguan and Shenzhen have been closing down, one after another. These piles of equipment stacked high haven't seen a single customer in 10 days to 2 weeks. Not a single person has come to look, let alone buy anything. Every piece of equipment is just sitting here depreciating. At this rate, it'll really become scrap metal. In the past 2 years, China's economy has been sluggish with insufficient domestic demand and weak consumer confidence. Many businesses couldn't survive in this environment and are forced to close. Some Taiwanese and foreign invested enterprises affected by the US-China trade war have moved production lines to Southeast Asian countries such as Vietnam, resulting in many Chinese people facing unemployment. I am 37 and unemployed in Shenzhen, supported by my husband and savings. Life is mundane, nothing like before. Before, I never worried about money for food, clothing, shelter, or transportation. Now, I have to compare prices to find the cheapest place to buy groceries. To be honest, Shenzhen and other first-tier cities are no longer suitable for young people's development. Forget about opportunities to make money, even your path to survival is narrow. The blogger lamented that she ordered takeout yesterday and the delivery driver was clearly a recent college graduate. Nowadays, more and more college graduates are choosing to deliver food or packages. Their future seems increasingly bleak, and they really can't see any way out. Dongguan, with its over 10 million migrant workers, now has empty shops and empty houses. Huangjiang used to be teeming with pretty women and bustling with people. Now, hotels and clubs are deserted. I just want to ask, where have all the people gone? Pretty ladies, where are you? Do you know how prosperous Dongguan was before the crackdown on prostitution? Back then, it was already called Little Hong Kong. It was probably much more bustling than Shenzhen, Shanghai, and even Guangzhou. Every few steps you'd see a factory, and then a few more steps, and you'd reach a very lively commercial street, brightly lit everywhere. Then you'd walk to the next intersection, where there was a supermarket, and a few steps further, a hotel. The streets were packed with people. The real employment situation in Shenzhen now is very different from before. Many companies don't seem to be in a hurry to hire. Whether you apply to a big company or a small company, the response time is always a bit slower. Secondly, some job postings are like zombie jobs. They're just sitting there. You don't know if they're really hiring or not, and there's no news. I've seen these job postings many times before, and they keep appearing in my browsing list. And now there are so few new job postings on boss.com. I've already seen them and then come back to browse again. The blogger says that HR doesn't seem to be in a hurry to send out interview invitations anymore. Previously, if you submitted your resume, HR would contact you quickly and rush to arrange an interview, but now everyone seems less anxious. She recalled that her job search used to be quite smooth, usually finding a suitable position within 1 or 2 weeks. This was because she was used to submitting resumes and attending interviews in batches, sometimes interviewing at 2 or 3 companies a day, and then choosing the most suitable one. She said she works in live streaming. Previously, she only needed to work 4 hours a day, then it increased to 5 hours, and now, in addition to the 5 hours of live streaming, she also has to sit in the office for 2 to 3 hours, so she feels things are different now than before.
你知道东莞为什么成了空城了吗？
Do you know why Dongguan has become a ghost town? Have you noticed that Dongguan, once a paradise for migrant workers, is now dwindling in population? Dongguan once attracted countless migrant workers, with the government promising to solve their social security and children's schooling problems. However, nothing has been done. No social security, no household registration, no 5 social insurances and 1 housing fund, not even residence permits. Enrolling in schools for children from other cities has become a major problem. Housing prices have skyrocketed more than tenfold, and rent takes up half a month's salary for ordinary people. More and more people can't afford to buy a condo and are forced to return to their hometowns. The blogger laments that many migrant workers have worked hard for decades but still cannot own a small home of their own. The once prosperous Dongguan is gradually becoming a ghost town. Statistics show that in recent years, Dongguan has lost millions of people, a rate as high as 42%, making it one of the cities in China with the most severe population loss.
睡前聊一下我在深圳16年的牛马生活到底赚了多少钱。
Let's talk about my 16 years of grueling life in Shenzhen before bed. How much money did I actually earn? How did I manage to have no condo, no car, and no savings? I listed a timeline for you. In 2009, I came to Shenzhen through campus recruitment after dropping out of vocational school. I interned at a chain pharmacy. My monthly salary was $280 in the first year, $370 in the second year, and $1,400 in the third year. I worked at that company for a total of 3.5 years, earning $28,000. After deducting my own expenses, I sent the rest back home to my hometown to help support my family. The blogger said she once left Shenzhen for half a year to return to her hometown in Guangxi to learn how to make snail rice noodles. In 2015, she took out a $28,000 loan to open a snail rice noodle shop, but it went bankrupt in 2017, leaving her with a debt of $40,000. Later that year, she opened a clothing store. From 2018 to 2019, she ran this tiny 10 square meter shop in Changsha, finally paying off her debts within 2 years. Because the shop was too small, she closed it in July 2019 and opened a new one. Unexpectedly, the pandemic broke out 6 months later, and business remained sluggish for the next few years, with little to no profit. She lamented that after 16 years of hard work in Shenzhen, all she had left were unsold inventory piling up in her hands. Do you know which factories in Kunshan have moved away? Since several factories in Kunshan moved away this year, such as Foxconn, Compal, and Flextronics, I've clearly noticed that our area has become much quieter. Before, when I went to the convenience store, every owner was cheerful and happy, but now they look dejected every day. Moreover, breakfast shops, lunch shops, and even clothing stores are all experiencing a decline in business, and the foot traffic has decreased significantly. I can clearly feel that our area used to be very lively, but now the atmosphere is much worse, including mine. The store's business has also become much quieter. Fans, as the only employee in our company besides the boss, I've lost my job. This unemployment was very sudden because my boss is quite ambitious. He was going to Shenzhen for a month of training and told me he couldn't pay me this month, so I should go work somewhere else. He said that if I was still available after his training, I could come back. I know small companies are unstable, but I didn't expect it to be so frivolous. Now I'm unemployed again. The blogger said she spent the whole morning at home refreshing Boss Direct Hiring, a job recruitment platform, but the HR personnel never replied to her messages. She lamented that pregnant women are almost nowhere to be seen on the streets now. They used to be everywhere, but now she sees more female delivery riders and female drivers. However, she admitted she couldn't do these jobs because she has no sense of direction at all. She doesn't know what to do about her future. Hello everyone, after 4 months I finally found a job. It was really tough. When I first started looking for a job it was June and I was still wearing short sleeves. Now I'm wearing a light down jacket. Yesterday I had a second round interview. I didn't have high hopes because during the written test I knew there was a graduate student among the candidates and 6 or 7 people were competing for that one position. I had no expectations. The blogger said he originally went out on his bicycle to look at used electric scooters, thinking that if he couldn't find a job, he would deliver food. Unexpectedly, he received a notification on the way that he had passed the second round interview and needed to report for duty the next day. He joked, "Finally found a job, now I'm going to be a cattle or horse again." A worker just said that the wages in Dongguan are too low. In Suzhou, it's $3 to $4 per hour, but here it's only $2.50. In a few days, we will gradually move out of this place. That's right, Qi Ding cardholder is relocating again. This is our second relocation. Last time, we moved from Foshan to Dongguan in 2018 with an initial investment of $140,000. This included setting up shelving, organizing and tidying up the warehouse, and handling all the necessary permits and renovations for the factory. Now, with this relocation, most of that initial investment is wasted. The blogger stated that factory owners are almost afraid of large-scale relocations like this because they require a significant investment and also involve readjusting machines, molds, etc. Yesterday, the company notified me to go through the resignation procedures. I was laid off and I really don't know what to say. I've been with this company for over 10 years and I'm one of the oldest employees. These past 2 days, because of this, my video has been interrupted for several days. I really haven't been in the mood to film. While everyone is away, I don't know how to say goodbye. I'll pack my things and leave on my own. I'll come back at the end of the month to handle some things and then I'll be officially unemployed. The blogger said that she is 40 years old this year and suddenly received a resignation notice, leaving her unsure of what to do next. She is also confused and unsure what kind of job she can find that she can stick with for another 10 years. Currently, the expenses for a child's tuition and rent are putting a lot of pressure on her every month, and she frankly admits that she really doesn't know what to do. Is it really shameful for a college graduate to earn $600 a month in Shenzhen? I'm a 23-year-old woman from Maoming who's been in Shenzhen for almost a year since graduation. My monthly take-home pay is $560. After deducting rent of $140, transportation of $30, and phone bills of $100, there's hardly anything left. So now I cook for myself every day after work, each meal costing just half a dollar, and treat myself to a nice meal on weekends when I have time. Whenever someone asks me if it's shameful to earn $560 a month despite having a bachelor's degree, or if someone with only an elementary school education earns $20,000 a month, call me shameful or unambitious, I never respond. For ordinary people like us, establishing ourselves in Shenzhen is harder than climbing to heaven. I don't dare to have high expectations, I just want to continuously improve myself and achieve an income exceeding $1,400 as soon as possible. This factory has also closed down. All the air conditioners have been dismantled. The economic situation is bad this year. Many factories are closing down. Everyone must cherish their jobs. This factory used to be very good. It made motors. Now there are basically no people left. Everything is dismantled and messy. This factory used to be very busy, with many people working there. Now there's practically no one left. 20 or 30 years ago, there were once prestigious and renowned companies. Now they're desolate, which is truly lamentable. I remember more than 10 years ago when the Great Wall Ceramics factory entered the ceramics industry. It was a very large and well-known factory, always boasting nearly 10 booths at exhibitions, enjoying immense success. What caused its decline and closure? The underlying reasons are worth pondering. We've used this factory for over 10 years. We moved here in July 2013. Seeing that we're moving away today, I feel very reluctant. It's really a bit sad. I can't bear to leave. This is an iron shed. In the summer, the temperature can reach 50 degrees Celsius. I stood here broadcasting live for 2 whole years. It was really tough. Against the backdrop of the trade war and industrial relocation, capital flight has once again attracted widespread attention. A leaked list of Dongguan companies relocating shows that at least 12 manufacturing companies moved to Vietnam or Thailand in the 3rd quarter of this year, mostly labor-intensive industries such as electronics and textiles. On November 7th, a Weibo user named Going to Work by Bicycle posted a picture of a company relocation meeting notice and a signed receipt writing, "I'm going to lose my job next month. What should I do?" The poster stated that he has worked on an assembly line in an electronics factory in Dongcheng, Dongguan for 5 years, earning $700 a month. $450 of that goes to mortgage payments, leaving only enough to support his family of 3. The notice he posted indicated that the company had decided to relocate entirely from Dongguan due to business needs, and a meeting was held on the 7th to explain the situation to employees, requiring those facing unemployment to sign a confirmation. Comments from other users revealed that after a garment factory in a town near Dongguan moved to Cambodia, more than half of the remaining 200-plus employees are still unemployed, with many forced to deliver food or sell goods at the market, living paycheck to paycheck. Another netizen shared, "My mother's factory moved to Myanmar that year, and she used her compensation to open a breakfast shop, but now her daily turnover is only $10. Before, she worried about working too much overtime. Now she worries about having no customers at all." A 38-year-old unemployed worker posted a lament that after working as an injection molding worker for 10 years, he had scrolled through countless hiring postings but still couldn't find a suitable position. Either the age limit was under 35 or the salary was unacceptably low. He anxiously said, "The mortgage is still paid. Am I supposed to let my wife and children starve?" The Dongguan worker who posted the message later added that he went to the labor market and even cleaning jobs required applicants to be under 40. Some netizens claiming to be small factory owners expressed their grievances. Raw material costs have increased by 20% and labor costs rise by 10% annually. If we don't relocate, we might go bankrupt. I have my own difficulties that I can't express. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time. Another netizen complained that his father worked in a shoe factory in Dongguan for 10 years. After the factory relocated to Vietnam, although he received $7,000 in compensation, he can now only wait for odd jobs on the street, earning less than $14 a day.